everybody? What's up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is the Equalizer Season 1, Episode 3. Okay, guys, let's have a talk. All right, so this show is giving me very much procedural. It's going to be a new situation every week. There's also going to be a personal problem in her life that's going to arise. Now, this week they did keep it a little spicy because her and Detective Dante are getting a little friendly. You know what I'm saying? He like one step closer to taking her to the Olive Garden. Y'all know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of bored at this point. But I'm going to keep on because you know how I feel about staying committed to watching these shows and reviewing them once I start, right? But I'm going to try to make these reviews as entertaining as possible because the show is kind of like meh to me at this point. I thought it was a good episode overall. This episode, we helped an escaped convict, and I don't want to waste any time, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we start off the episode with somebody running through the woods. We see that it's escaped prisoner, and he runs and he finds a bag of clothes. It says, "See you soon," and it has, some clothes in it. Then we see him going into an apartment building, and when he gets into the apartment building, he finds what I assume to be that is his friend. He finds him on the ground, and he is dead. Obviously, he's shocked by this. He kind of touches him. He recoils back, and he runs out of the apartment. Then we see Robin driving her daughter Delilah to school the next morning, and we see that when she drops her off to school, her friend Jasmine is out there handing out flyers or something of that nature. And, their relationship seems kind of off, and Robin notices that they don't really even speak to each other anymore. So as she's pulling off, Mallory calls her and tells her that a lawyer has called them and has asked for help through their, secret CIA program, apparently. So she goes to meet with this lawyer, and the lawyer discusses the case of Dale Aldridge. Basically, Dale has been in jail for a decade. He's escaped from prison now, and he feels like she can help him prove his innocence. So he's been convicted of killing this woman. I can't remember her name yet, but he's convicted of killing this woman. He had no criminal record. Although Robin protests and says she doesn't usually help criminals, he says, "Please just look at the file." And she's like, "Well, no, I need to meet him." And he was like, "Well, I don't know where he is. I don't know how you're going to get in touch with him." And she says, "Don't worry about that. I got that part." Then we see Detective Dante at the scene of the crime where the friend was killed. And we see they have a U.S. Marshal named Mike. And he says that these guys apparently knew each other when they were in jail. And they figure that Dale is the one that killed him because a neighbor saw Dale running from the apartment. And Detective Dante is kind of skeptical about this whole situation, but he kind of goes along with it. And the U.S. Marshal says, well, if he was trying to settle a score, and there will be more bodies that's going to turn up. Robin finds Aldridge in the street somewhere, and she backs him up against the wall, and she tells him that she traced his burner phone. She's not the police. She's there to help him. And basically she's like, "How are you going to try to exonerate yourself?" And he tells her about this guy named Preacher. So apparently when they were in jail, Tommy, the one who ended up dead, it overheard Preacher confessing to the crime to someone else. And he said when he broke out of prison, him and Tommy were going to confront Preacher, but he thinks that Preacher got to Tommy first and killed him. Robin is like, "This was your plan? So you was going to try to get a criminal to confess?" She says, "Even if you got him to confess, you wouldn't even be able to get another trial because all your appeals are exhausted." And he says, "Well, I'm not really worried about a new trial. I'm just worried about proving my innocence to my son." He shows her a picture of his son who has been hanging out with the wrong crowd, doing the wrong thing, walking down the wrong path. And he says he wants his son to know that he's an innocent man and that his father is not a murderer. She says, "Do you know anything about this Preacher?" And of course he doesn't know anything because even though they've recorded everything that happens in the jail, he doesn't know his name. He just knows his nickname Preacher. And she said, "Well, just let me work that out. I'll figure that part out. I can hold you, in a safe house for a few days." And he refuses to let her, get him a safe house. She said, "Well, then when they see you, they gonna shoot you, baby. They gonna shoot you. They gonna shoot to kill." And he says he appreciates the help, but he's tired of putting his life in the hands of other people. He's going to keep himself safe. She gives him a burner phone and tells him to use that burner phone to contact anyone. No one can trace it. Please do not go visit his family because the cops will be on him as soon as he tries to visit his family. So back in the Batcave, Mallory and Harry and everybody, they figure out who Preacher is. Preacher is basically this guy who was in prison. He's got out of prison and now he's running a ministry. And so Robin breaks into his house and he almost caught her slipping, but she turned around and commenced to beat his ass like she do. She beat everybody ass. So she got him, in the headlock. She beat him up. and she questions him. She ties him up and she questions him about the whole situation. Now he tells her he did not kill that lady, okay? He confessed to the robberies, but he did not confess to the murder. Somebody used his crime to try to pin the murder on him or whatever, but he didn't do it. So he said, once I found out the guy got arrested for it or whatever, I didn't say anything about it. She's like, so you're gonna let an innocent man, rot in prison? And he was like, listen, what I'm gonna say, I did the robbery, but I ain't do the murder. I'm a black man, child. They gonna throw me away and they gonna lock me up and throw away the key. Hell no, I ain't say nothing, girl. What's wrong with you? And so Robin was like, you got a point. I'm not gonna lie, you got a point. So Detective Dante questions the DA and the judge who was the prosecutor on the Dale case when he went to court. And so he basically questions her about, did y'all look for anybody else? Did y'all find anybody else that was a suspect? And the judge says, no, there absolutely wasn't another suspect. We looked for everybody, especially with the high profile nature of this crime. We looked for other people, but there was no other suspect but him. The evidence was overwhelming. And when the judge walks away, the DA gets really upset with him because she's like, I can't believe you're questioning this judge about what happened. He said, you need to calm down. Every question is not an accusation. Okay, I'm going to need for you to eat a Snicker and relax because it's not that deep. But he does say, by all accounts, Dale and Tommy were friends when they were in jail, so he didn't have a motive to kill him. So something else is at play in this situation. Robin meets back up with Dale and she tells him about the alibi that Preacher has, and he's like, oh my God, that was the one thing that I had, and now it's all, basically shot to and she's like, well, wait a minute, we're gonna find out about the victim. If we start with the victim, we can figure out why somebody wanted her dead, and we can track down, who killed her. When she gets back to the bat lair, she tells the crew to keep an eye on Dale because she feels like Dale is going to get in touch with his family. He's going to do something stupid. And right at this very moment, guess what he does? Something stupid. So he gets in the car with his wife. His wife gets in the car. He leaves a note for her. And he's like, just, put your headphones on, act like you're talking on the phone. So he tells her, he misses her. Obviously, they want to talk, but they can't talk. And she tells him that the son is out there, running around with this guy, and they're like stealing cars and, doing all type of shit they ain't got no business doing. And he's like, I need to talk to him. And she was like, don't you go talk to him. The cops are going to be on you. He was like, don't worry about it. I got you, girl. I'm like, child, you finna go to jail. I don't know why you playing like this. These people ain't looking for you. You is the most wanted, sir. Like, you doing the most. Talks to the victim's friend at the hospital, but before she talks to him, she runs into this doctor in the lobby who was being very obnoxious while family was grieving. She snatches the phone out of his hand and tells him he needs to do that somewhere else, okay? Because these people up here trying to grieve and you up in here talking about the game on the phone. So he walks away and she talks to her friend. He finds out that the victim was a nurse, and the victim was heavily trying to figure out what was causing this opioid epidemic in their town. So she was determined to find out who was selling these drugs, and she told her the night that she got killed that she had a name. She just needed to verify the name, and the next day she was dead. She said she told the police this, and they said they would check on it, but then they called her and told her that they had arrested this guy and they had so much evidence, and they kind of just didn't follow up on the situation. Back in the bat lair, Harry has figured out that there's a guy that was in front of Tommy's apartment before Dale Aldridge, and this guy, they got him on a camera, but the photo is really blurry. He might be able to run it through the NSA database and find a facial recognition. Detective Dante, who is the one who found the guy, will come to a dead end because their software is not as good as obviously the NSA's. So Robin goes to pick up Delilah from school, and she runs into Jazz's mom, and both of the ladies talk about how there's been like an awkward weirdness between the girls, and so they set up a movie night to where they can hang out, watch movies like they used to do. When Delilah comes out of the school, Delilah questions Robin about this, and she says, well, I set up a movie night so we can all hang out. And she was like, oh, okay, so if you want to go to Robin's house so bad, you should just go over there by yourself. And she was like, wait a minute, hold up. She was like, you didn't ask me. First of all, Delilah got a little bit too much attitude for me, baby. Delilah would have got snatched up, okay? Delilah said she slammed the door and said she was going to find another way home. I was like, girl, I know you better get your ass up in this car. Listen, Delilah be doing a little bit too much disrespect for me, baby. So later on, Robin talks to Delilah about how she was being disrespectful, okay? And don't you ever slam no damn door on me, girl. I will snatch your ass. I will take you up out of here, okay? She didn't say all of that, but that's what she should have said. I brought you in this world and I take you out. But she didn't, and Delilah is around here pouting. Her mama said, well, maybe, I would have known not to overstep if you would have talked to me about what's going on. So basically what's going on is that Jasmine and Delilah have grown apart. They used to be really close friends, and her Jasmine is fake woke now. And so, she doesn't really believe in the cause that she's doing. She's just doing it for Instagram likes or whatever. And so Jasmine feels some type of way about this. She feel like she fake as hell. And she says, it's nothing for you to fix. You know what I'm saying? Our friendship is just over, girl. Like, it's nothing for you to worry about, mama. Stop trying to fix this. Stop trying to, make it better. Vi points out to Robin, like, who are you really trying to fix this situation for? You trying to fix it for Jazz, or are you trying to fix it for yourself? So they find out that the guy on camera that was leaving Tommy's apartment is named something or other. Apparently they find out he was only 13 years old when the crime was committed, so there's no way that he had a part in the crime. So they hand her some information pointing out why this is the case, and she says she's going to do an information switch with Detective Dante, and they're like, oh, do you think he's going to help you? And she's like, of course. His father was a veteran police officer. He was a rock star on the police force, and apparently he got kicked off the police force because of corruption. So Detective Dante has to be on the straight and narrow, and he still risked his career because one of the DAs was playing politics and he punched him and he could have lost his whole job. So obviously the man cares, and she feels like he will do business with us. And they're like, well, he could just be luring you in to catch you, girl. And she was like, I know, girl. Catch me if you can, boo, because my guard is never down, honey. She calls Dante and they make an exchange of information. And he tells her that, basically she wants him to pull the file that has all the information about what's going on with this guy. And she tells him about the guy's name and what his name was and who this guy was. Then we see Dale's son robbing cars, breaking into somebody's car, and Dale walks up on him, and they have a little talk with each other. And basically his son is saying, like, you don't know what it's like to have a father that's in prison. All the kids make fun of me. They like to beat me up just for fun because they hear my dad's in jail, and back and forth or whatever. So he's trying to convince his son that he loves him and that he's innocent of these crimes, and he's like, nobody believes you. And by the time Detective Dante gets off the phone with Robin, they have located Dale. So they pull up on Dale, and he's out there with his son, and turns out that his son is the one who called the police on him. They take Dale to jail. Now, when they're out there taking him to jail, Dante is standing outside, and Robin pulls up on the motorcycle, and he did not point her out. He let her make it when another person is like, hey, what are you looking at? He's like, I'm not looking at anything. Or, I must have just, saw somebody drive by real fast, or some lie he made up. The lawyer meets up with Robin and tells her that Dale has thrown in the towel. He's going to plead guilty tomorrow. They have charged him with leaving the jail, and they charged him with Tommy's murder. And so, it's okay. She should just throw in the towel. Robin goes back to the Batcave, and they all discuss, whether they're still going to help him, all these different things. And they decide that they're going to help him. This is what they decided to do. And Harry's like, we're going to help him whether he wants to be helped or not, bitch. We're going to help him anyway. Harry has tracked down an old police officer, and basically the police officer took a statement from a witness. Has come to find out the doctor is the doctor that she ran into earlier of the episode. So she figures out how way to get into the hospital. She goes into the doctor's office. She snoops around and she finds a picture of the doctor, his friend, and guess who? The judge. So they figure out that Judge Connolly, the judge at the time who was the prosecutor at the time of the crime, her son was friends with this guy. So Robin has figured out that they can figure out what's going on, but she needs some help from the inside. So she calls Detective Dante back, and he answers the phone. This time he's tracing her phone call, and he calls her. He's trying to figure out, the information as far as, what's going on. So she tells him what's going on. You need to get the DA involved on the situation, tell her what's going on. And he's like, she was pissed at me for even questioning the lady. She's not going to receive this well. And she's like, listen, you want to help, you want to keep this man out of jail, he's innocent, let's go ahead and do it. Detective Dante goes to work his magic on the DA, and he convinces her to try to do something, basically, because she doesn't want to do it at first, but he talks her into doing it. He gives her a really good speech and pep talk, honey, and talks her into, looking into this case. So Robin pumps up the lawyer outside of court because it's D-Day. She goes in and she calls Dante, and Dante says, well, I've been calling the DA all morning. She has not been returning my call, so I thought she was on my side, but I'm not so sure now. So they go into court, and the DA makes a motion to dismiss all the evidence. And of course, the judge coolly, she turns him down. She says, I have evidence that you withheld some information, exculpatory information that would have helped the defense. She denies that. And so we think the whole situation is over with. But the DA walks in at the last minute to take the show, honey. She said, baby, we know what you did. We know how you did it last summer. And you finna go to jail. I'm paraphrasing. She breaks down all this information. And the judge is like, those documents, they don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, the documents don't exist, but the witnesses do exist. Boom. So the judge confesses that Garrity, I think that's his name, Dr. Garrity, he threatened her after she figured out what happened with the situation. He said that he would implicate her. She said that she never imagined that he would he would kill Tommy. She just sent the guy there to scare Tommy. So the guy that was on the picture, I forgot what his name was, but she sent him there to scare Tommy, but she never imagined that he would kill Tommy. DA says, so you knowingly sacrificed an innocent person so that you can have a powerful career. Because she was saying, I was scared, he threatened me or whatever. And she was like, nah, sis, you ain't going to be able to get off that easy, girl. It's not going down like that, girl. We know what you did, period. Although the DA told Marcus that she needed his information or where he got his information for, he did not snitch on Robin, and he tells her he single-handedly figured this out on his own. Dale reunites with his wife, but his son is hesitant to come in, and Robin reassures him that his father loves him and that he's going to be okay, even though he called the damn police on him and put his ass back in jail. But he goes in there and he greets his father, and it's a wonderful, happy ending to the story. Robin talks to Delilah that night, and she tells her that she canceled movie night. Maybe they should just have a movie night themselves at the house. She says that's great, and she says, Jasmine and her, she just feel like maybe they had hung on to their friendship just a little bit longer than they needed to. He says, I got an essay to write, so can I give me a little bit longer? And she says, okay, that's fine. I have one more errand to run. So Robin goes to meet Detective Dante, and she's like, listen, you know what I'm saying? I know you be watching me. I see that you be watching me because I'm watching you. And he was like, listen, if you don't stop trying to equalize everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to put you in jail. And she was like, you going to lock me up? You going to lock me up, boo? Don't lock me up, babe. Well, I would be disappointed if you didn't try. And she do a little smile wink, and she walk away. And I was like, hey, he gonna take you to the Olive Garden. He finna take you to Red Lobster or whatever. Early in the episode, Mallory was like, you like that he chasing you? And she was like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of do. So, I feel like they're gonna hook up at some point, or it's gonna be like this little cat and mouse game this whole season. So once again, like I said, I thought the episode was pretty good. I'm a little bored. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm doing my best to make it through this season and make these as entertaining as possible. Tell me what you think about it so far. So tonight I'm recording this video on a Tuesday, but by the time it's up, it'll be Wednesday. So I'm gonna do my Queen Sugar review. It is gonna be live this week. It's gonna be Wednesday at about 6:30 p.m. Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. I'm doing a review for Queen Sugar Season 5. And like I said, it's going to be live. So that's 6:30 p.m. Central Time. It'll be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think like 4:30 p.m. Western on the West Coast. So let me know. Hopefully you guys can come and hang out with me for a little while on the live. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will holler at you guys next week.